I'm going to go through a few more examples here in algebra and a process here we call simplification. So we have, I've highlighted here question 4a, question 6b, question 6c, and question 8b, and I'll go through the whole lot. Okay, so the first thing we do here is we highlight the like terms. Okay, I can see straight away I have two like terms there in front of me. I can see that the y's, there's y's here as well, so they're like terms, and the constants then are 4 and 9 in this case. I can rearrange them. So that's probably the best option I could do next. 3x plus 6x plus 2y plus 5y plus 4 plus 9. Just to count for everything to make sure that you haven't forgotten anything. So I have 3x, 6x, 2y, 5y, 4, and 9. What we now need to do is simplify them. So these are like terms, so therefore I can add them. So I end up with 9x. I have 2y and 5y, both like terms. I end up with 7y. I have 4 and 9, 13. This is the final answer because it cannot be simplified anymore. Okay, a final answer there, 9x plus 7y plus 13. Okay, let's swap on to the next one. So if we look here, we have question 6b. Again, we have like terms. And the like terms here, well, we have m squared, m squared. Actually, m and m squared are unlike terms. So what we can do here is just put a squiggly line here under the m's because the m's are the same and the m squared are the same. What we want to do here is we want to rearrange. So it's now 3m squared plus 4m squared plus 2m minus 3m. The next line down is when you simplify. So we have 3m squared plus 4m squared is going to give you 7m squared. And 2m minus 3m, so that's like saying 2 minus 3, which is minus 1m. And now again, that is as simplified as can be. Okay. The one common mistake we tend to see here on these questions is that people tend to say, if I look at 3m squared plus 4m squared, you can add the 3 and 4, you get 7. But sometimes people tend to add the m squared and give m to the power of 4, which makes no sense. You can't do that. What you can do is you can add the coefficients together and get 7. Okay, on to the next question, question 6. So again, you want to highlight your like terms. Look at this, I can see a like term here is minus aq squared and plus 4q squared. I also have a minus cubed. Actually, it doesn't have any match here, and minus 3 doesn't have any match either. There's no other number in that equation. So what I want to do again is I want to rearrange. Minus 8q squared plus 4q squared minus 3 minus 9. Now I want to simplify. So if we look at this, we can see that minus 8q squared plus 4q squared is just going to give you minus 4q squared. And minus 3 minus 9 minus 12. That is as simplified as possible. Cannot do any more. So what we can do here is highlight that we're now finished and just underline it. The last one is a bit tricky, and this involves brackets. So in the previous video, I gave you an example of a brackets question. It may not be immediately obvious how you do this, but what we're going to do here, first of all, we don't need a bracket here in the first part of this. So I'm going to rewrite this as 5a squared minus 3a minus 4. Nothing is going to change there. However, if we look up here, there is definitely one thing that has changed. We're taking away from this 3a squared plus 2a minus 1. To make this easy for myself, what I could do is I could put in front of this a 1. Okay? Because taking away that bracket is the same as saying you're taking away one of that bracket. So minus 1. Now, remember in the previous video, what I did here was I multiplied what's outside the bracket by what's inside the bracket. In fact, it's multiplied by everything inside that bracket. And when I work this out, I end up with minus 3a squared minus 2a and minus 1. Now, this looks like something we should be able to solve. So the next thing you need to do here is you need to underline your like terms. Okay, so the like terms here again, well, we've got a 5a squared minus 3a squared. We have minus 3a matches with minus 2a, and that leaves us a minus 4 and minus 1. Okay, now remember your next step is to look at this equation and say, can I rearrange? So we have 5a squared minus 3a squared minus 3a minus 2a minus 4 and minus 1. Okay, you simplify this. 5a squared minus 3a squared is 2a squared minus 3a minus 2a minus 5a and minus 4 minus 1 minus 5. That's definitely a trickier one, that we'll have to look at in class. But this is the final answer, fully simplified, 2a squared minus 5a minus 5. I cannot break it down any further. Okay, so that has been more examples there of simplification.